FM, you can call 0330-606-0953. You can watch both sides of the story live on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Both Sides 106. Email bothsides106 at live.com. Send your WhatsApp voice notes, audio messages, and text messages to 876-365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
Make every day special. Own it. Enjoy it. Bask in the glory of life. Appreciate the gift of your own life.
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 99, wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now, and the power and beauty of your youth until they've faded. But trust me, in 20 years, you look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about the future, or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are to be things that never cross your worried mind, the kind that blindsides you at 4 p.m. on some mild Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long. In the end, it's only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive. Forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me now. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of passion. Be kind to your needs. You'll miss everything done. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance. So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living. Read the directions, and if you don't follow them, do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly. Get to know your parents. You have no responsibility. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past, and they're most likely to stick with you in the future. Understand that friends can only control. But with a precious few, you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle. Because the older you get, the more you need what people will give you when you get young. Live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard. Live in Northern California once, but leave before it makes you soft. Travel. Accept certain inalienable truths. Prices will rise, politicians will philander, you too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund, maybe you'll have a wealthy spouse. But you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your head, or by the time you're 40, you'll look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice, the form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of issuing past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 99.
Baz Luhrmann, Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen. That's the title of that piece. Before that, we shared with you the words of Donna Fargo. Make every day special. 2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 28th day of the 12th and final month of 2023, the International Year of Millets. A millet is a cereal grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. And today is Holy Innocents' Day in Mexico. Hoy es jueves, el 28 de diciembre 2023, y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
So are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can.
C'est jeudi le 28 décembre 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
We're the Northern California ones, but leave before it makes you soft. Traveling.
All we're saying is it's Thursday, the 28th of December, 2023, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me.
It's the 362nd day of 2023, which means there are just about 3 days, or is it 2 days, or depending on whether we count today, 28, 29, 30, 31st. No, I think I'm right. 3 days, 3 days left in the year 2023. Let's continue to be judicious in our choices and our decisions as people. What's on your mind this afternoon? Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you on board. Welcome. It's that period of the year when, for some of us, we're not sure if we're coming or we're going, if we're up or we're down, if we're good or we're bad. And there are those of us who are trying to do better, trying to be better. And there are others who are in a period of, they call it interregnum, which is usually refers to a break between two political administrations, etc. So you end up in what is called an interregnum, because there's a break for the transition from one to the other, for example. So it's that kind of it's that time of the year. Let's take the break and come back.
Remember compliments. Forget.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. and taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. Asher Ash has joined us. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in from London, England. Good of you to tune in, Asher Ash. Welcome. Thank you. Natalie Winter in Washington Gardens has joined us as well. Welcome, Natalie Winter in Washington Gardens. Good to have you on board. Norman Hines in St. Thomas. Good afternoon. Greetings to you too. Angelia Christian is also on board listening, and we'll connect with her in a little while as well. And I didn't realize she was using up some of her Spanish here. Como está, Dervan Malcolm? Muy bien, gracias. God bless the children of Jamaica in their going out, coming in as we go out, 2023. Angel Foundation, UKJA. Good of you to stop by, Angel. We'll reconnect with you in a little while. Brandon Lee says, hi, teacher. Is Sean, have a happy new year to you and your family. Thank you very much, and the same to you. Nicola in Central Jamaica says, good afternoon, Dervan. Good afternoon, Nicola, to you and the family in Central Jamaica. And all the very best for what's left of 2023, even as we look forward to 2024. And so the floor is open. It's over to you. And your calls, your comments, your questions, your suggestions, your ideas, your thoughts, your issues, your concerns, whatever is on your mind, please feel free to share. Those numbers once again, 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us via WhatsApp on the text line 876-365-3346. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And let's go now to our usual update. That's where we're going to start in terms of keeping you abreast of developments in our country and the rest of the world. So let's see what we have here. Senior government officer granted court order to remain on the job. The Supreme Court today granted an order barring the Public Service Commission, PSC, from separating senior government employee Sandra Graham from her job at the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications, and Transport on the grounds, where did the story go? On the grounds, let's see if we can bring it up. Right, so the story is that the Supreme Court today granted an order barring Public Service Commission, PSC, from separating senior government employee Sandra Graham from her job at the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications, and Transport on the grounds of redundancy or reorganization. Justice Yvonne Brown, after hearing an application in chambers from attorney at law Hugh Wildman, granted a 28-day injunction, which will remain in force until the parties return to court on January 25. Graham, who is the principal director of corporate services in the ministry, is seeking an order that the decision to separate her from the public service is procedurally improper, as the decision is in breach of Section 125 of the Constitution of Jamaica. She was informed that she was to leave office by January 1st next year. The applicant contends that the decision was based on false allegations made against her by purported anonymous persons. She referred to anonymous letters accusing her of hating Portfolio Minister Darrell Vaz and trying to bring down the permanent secretary. Graham said she has written to the Integrity Commission concerning her job and has reported threats she received to the police. Carol Palmer, permanent secretary in the ministry, who is Graham's immediate supervisor, is also named as a respondent. Attorney at law Kamala Ruddock from the Attorney General's chambers represented the respondents today. Graham is seeking leave to go to the Judicial Review Court for an order of certiorari to quash the decision of the respondents to separate her from her job on the grounds of redundancy and reorganization. She has stated that the decision to remove her from the public service is based on vendetta and bad faith, based on contrived allegations. On November 10, Graham said she received a letter stating that consideration was being given by the PSC for her to be separated from the public service on the grounds of redundancy and or reorganization on January 1st, 2024. She was instructed to show just cause why she should not be separated from the public service, and that should be done in 5 days. She said she immediately sought legal advice and, through her lawyer, Hugh Wildman, wrote to the PSC. A meeting was held on December 1st with representatives of the Office of the Services Commission, and she was then informed that the PSC intended to carry out its threat of having her separated from the public service by the end of this year. Graham states that she has acted promptly and her only alternative remedy is that of judicial review. She pointed out in her application that on November 27, through her lawyer, she wrote a letter asking to be allowed to perform in another position of comparable standard, but to date, there has been no response. The applicant states that she has 22 years of sterling service in the public service and has served as press secretary to 2 former prime ministers. Graham is contending that she's been deprived of a fair hearing by the respondents, in particular the PSC, in proposing to remove her from the office without giving her full opportunity to make worthwhile suggestions to remain in the job. That story written by Barbara Gale of The Gleaner. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Someone is calling us on the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Can you hear me, sir?
Good afternoon. Hearing you.
Yes, thank you. I thank you for this airtime. I would like to speak on a burning issue that I have faced with the U.S. Immigration Services.
Go ahead.
Will you have the attorney today on?
Yes, at no. Oh, sorry. No, not today. Apparently.
Not today.
No.
Mr. Malcolm.
I'm sure it is.
That I have faced with U.S. immigration. You know, I was illegally deported in 2005. I've been fighting this issue from 2005, and I've not got any avail. You know, This case is it's involving a lot of corruption with the USCIS employees, agents. I I was held illegally for 19 months without, like
Did
a hostage,
did
without
you?
a charge.
Sorry, just a moment. Did you seek the services of an attorney?
Yes, I did seek many. They said the case was very strong, and they said they'd never seen a case like this before. I was deported. I was deported going on the asylum interview, and this is what they did. They brought me in a room and uh, told me they want to give me asylum, which it was fabricated by all of them. And they said a lot of damning statements about my country and myself, And I went in that interview without fear, but when I came out with fear of the damning evidence that they put on paper. And I have all the supporting documents because I shouldn't have these documents because they try to retrieve them, but I sent them out secretly. So I just want to say, is the law just for us or it's not for them? I wrote.
Well, there's nothing to stop you from pursuing this matter legally. There's nothing to stop you.
Mr. Malcolm, there's attorney came to Jamaica, got all the documents, said they will take the case, and when they returned back up, they changed their mind. I don't know why attorneys so afraid of this case. I've been trying. I spent money, and I need Mr. Malcolm, I need an attorney with a heart like a lion.
Well, there are attorneys. I can think of a couple of attorneys right now, one more than the other, more so than the other, who played a part in assisting a couple of Jamaicans to get back into the United States after being illegally deported.
Yes, sir. I wrote to the president. I wrote to the president of United States, and he replied back to me. Not many people get a reply back from the president. And
hold a moment, please. One moment, please.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now 2:30.
No more long wait, Kingston was limited. Thanks to the quick and collect a genitive. Easy and fast and safe, a process of clearing your barrels without any glitch. Click and collect, not hard. When sending from foreign to ya. Sign up today, and from abroad, you can manage clearance and pay online. Your loved one just has to collect it. Easy. Sign up, you click quickly, you collect. Sign up, you click quickly, you collect. For more information, WhatsApp 876-577-8905. So are everybody else's.
He gave me a case number. He turned the case over to the Special Investigation, OI Special Investigation, and they did an inquiry here, and they found, she told me I have all supporting documents. I was looking at it today, and it was saying legal consideration preclude divulge. She cannot divulge what found. The chief investigator for the OSI. So only probably a lawyer probably could get it from them. So I wrote he told me where to direct my letters to, and I wrote the chief investigator of immigration, and they sent me back a letter in 2013, and they told me that my current asylum case is being pending. How can my case be pending when I'm out of the country going through asylum? And then you're going to tell me to report visiting one of the 8 asylum offices without giving me access. And then you're going to send me a letter again stating that my case is turned over to the Customer Engagement Center. So they write a lot of lies, but they're not following up with it. I got no engagement from them.
Why would they need to do that though? Why would they need to do that to you?
I don't know, Mr. Malcolm. I don't. They break their own laws, you know. And then they deported me without. This is the serious part of it, Mr. Malcolm. They refused to bring me in front of the judge. They deported me without even going in front of a judge. A judge have to resolve this matter. You understand? Because undergoing asylum, you're automatically under stay of removal. You know, it's only the ambassador of Jamaica came through the county jail and saw me, and I showed them what I was going through, and they said, Mr. Enriquez, we can't believe this, what you're going through. We are going to get you out of here now. And that's how they released me. They held me 19 months like a hostage without a charge, and then deported me without putting me in front of a judge. You understand? So this is all wrongdoing on their part. And they're going to tell me,
well,
this can
only be tested in a court of law.
Mr. Malcolm, I'm going to say something now that is going to be very damning. I have it on paper here. They said if I return to Jamaica, I'll be tortured and killed by
No, it's all right. No. We don't have that kind of information, and we don't want to be putting too much out there that cannot be verified and certified. And
Mr. Malcolm, I have it on document, sir.
Yes, but I have also have a responsibility.
But I'm still pressing on. I'm still pressing because this case is a strong case. There's attorneys told me that they never seen a case like this before, and you know what? They gave me 2 attorneys on this case, and the 2 of them abandoned me and throw me under the bus, and they just abandoned me, and I haven't heard from them, you know.
So what you want to do now is to identify, and in a most discerning way, to identify those who are empathetic and are prepared to apply their knowledge, experience, expertise, and know-how to assist you.
Yes.
So that's really what I would humbly suggest, instead of just throwing it out there in this way.
This is the first time I am publicizing this case, and I'm going to go to other media houses. I am going to give my number, my WhatsApp number, my on.
Well, you know, by all means, go ahead and seek remedy.
Yes, I am seeking, but I am going to call next week and speak to the attorney and see what she can do. But I need a strong attorney, one with a heart like a lion, to resolve this matter.
Well, Jamaica and the Jamaican community, home and abroad, have never been short on those.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Mr. Malcolm. Mr. Malcolm, I'm going to label you, sir, before I leave. I'm going to label you. I'm going to label you as a humble man.
You're very kind.
I'm going to call you a humble man. You know, the Bible says that in Numbers chapter 12, verse 3, that Moses was the meekest man above all men on the face of the earth. And God gave him that spirit. So I believe you have this spirit of humbleness. You know, I never hear you fussing and carrying on, and you know, on the radio. So, you know, I'm going to declare today that you're a humble man.
That's very kind of you. So,
blessing to you and your listeners, Mr. Malcolm. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much
for hearing my plight. Yes.
Thank you for calling as well. All the best. Take care. And
thank you very much, Mr. Malcolm.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carter.
Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon to your listeners and your valuable callers. There's a war going on in a country named Myanmar. Have you ever heard about that country, Mr. Malcolm?
Yes.
It's an interview last night with one of the lawyers from a tribe down there named the Mohingas. Mr. Malcolm, she said that the Mohingas are the forgotten people of the world. Can you imagine that?
The forgotten people of the world.
Yeah, she said that that nation, even though they're talking about the Palestinians, she said that no, it's not the Palestinians that are suffering the most, it's the Mohingans. Some cool people from up in Myanmar.
By the way, that term has not been fully embraced by some people in the term that you used a while ago.
Myanmar?
No, Coolie.
Oh, Coolie. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Thank you for your clarity, Professor.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Just like how they don't want to call people nigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. You're a real professional, Mr. Malcolm.
We try.
Yeah, so she's saying that these people, nobody remember them in the world. It is run by a army, junta. How is the army so powerful in any country, Mr. Malcolm? Tell me.
That would be partially due to history and the knowledge accumulated in handling countries and identifying the strengths and the weaknesses and the application of the army, the employment of the army for the benefit of the country and for good decision making. However, that hasn't been as consistent over the years because we have come upon all kinds of governments across the world.
And yesterday, Mr. Malcolm, the U.S. Congress, they offer more military aid and money to Ukraine, so the war is not going to stop for now. Yesterday, and then they sent over a blank check to Israel, and Israel army chief said, this war is not going to stop for now. 154 Israeli soldiers have been killed since the war. They lost a major and a general yesterday in Gaza City, eastern Gaza. Anyway, Mr. Malcolm,
yes,
you know that the NIDS is ready. The NIDS, the National Identification Project.
Sounds like you're well placed to get that kind of information.
Mr. Malcolm, when I used to go to Jamaica College, that school up by Papi in there, one time I was in 6A, and the accounts teacher said to us, you're in a good profession, gentlemen. If this world should come to an end, you're going to need two people. The journalists to tell the story and the accountants to close the books. And I never forget that at Jamaica College. And is it at Jamaica College that I was taught that work is burning in the field?
Fervet opus in campus.
Talk to me now, my language guru. French, no?
No, it's Latin.
Yeah, they know. Fervet opus in campus.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, it's fervet.
Fervet.
Opus. In campus.
In campus.
Work is burning in the field.
And I never forget that. And I want to thank the Jamaican people, taxpayers of Jamaica, to give me the opportunity to be able to go to that school and many more schools with their tax dollar. And I was taught at Root Glen Road Institute of Certified Chartered Accountants. I was taught that I'm a gatekeeper of the city. And I must make sure I tell the people the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. Wanna be one of the 24 winners of 100 grand. We are getting more in the 2024 of my Western Union. 2 money transfer from business and location with the cheeky one. I'll pick up, transfer money to your wallet for transfer. Authorized on session before you have to give me the
Cards. Don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Thoughts. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, Mr. Carter. You're on the subject of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mr. Malcolm, that's what me come here for, because I don't look nobody vote. I don't look nobody collection money. Mr. Malcolm, you know that the banks, you see, our local bank, I don't give financial advice, but they are getting themselves ready, for the needs,
They're doing well.
Mr. Malcolm, SSL Limited, that Limited tell you that the liability of the company is limited. The shareholders' liability to the company is limited to the amount of money that they invest in the business. And if the business should go bankrupt, nobody can take away the personal assets of those stakeholders, those shareholders,
Yes.
So the smaller man that run the corner shop and the bars and these little mom and pop business about the economic growth. Most of these bars and these corner shops, they need to pool together and form limited liability companies, re-register their business. 5 of them come together and change the name and operate under limited liability. Yeah, because that is one of the reasons why all this talk about SSL, and who forget lock up and they can't touch the shareholders, because they have limited liability. What you have to do, you have to lift the veil of corporation. And Jamaica don't have that law. So, Mr. Malcolm, I want to say about the needs.
Yes.
The credit ratings. People, the average Jamaicans, they don't carry a credit card, Most Jamaicans, they even know the value of a credit card. But a credit card, people, there can be a difference between life and death, Because what it does for you, it gives you 30 days credit, where you can use money without paying it back within 30 days. But if you don't pay it back, it's very expensive.
That's when the interest steps in and steps up.
Yeah, but under the new Mr. Malcolm, the system going to get tight. People will have to watch their credit rating. This program will have to teach the average Jamaican man about credit ratings, Mr. Malcolm. I don't hear any politician when they're addressing these people at the conference telling the people, do you know your credit score and what it takes to have a good credit score so that you can get credit from the bank in a rainy day? You're not telling the people these things.
Yeah, that's in America. That's a big deal. Credit rating.
Talk to me, Professor. Tell them not. Tell them in the grill, man. Tell them down Westmoreland. Credit rating
makes all the difference.
All the difference, because are you paying your bills on time? Your light bill, your water rate, your cable, etc., etc. So that if I go in the bank tomorrow, the credit union, I say, I'm going to need $1 million loan, back in 10 years. So you're going to need that sort of customer service, Mr. Malcolm. And that personal development in the new world order, sir. We have to teach the people, the accountants and the journalists. Mr. Malcolm, never said this to your program again. I'm going to stay along today. We're going to need you, Simon Gaskill, and Mr. Ralston Hyman and Dr. Sutherland to come into the streets in the town center, like in the Alpha Tree Bus Park, Spanish Town, Bus Park, Coronation Market, downtown, to come do some mingling with the people and tell the people the basics of what they need to do in order to build back trust, credit, respect, and love so that we can grow the economy, so that we can preserve the African people legacy and life in this culture, Mr. Malcolm. And politics can't do that for we no more. They don't have the skill set. They don't have it, Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
They don't have the skill set. The highest paid politician is paid $24 million a year. You know that?
Yes.
And that is not his main job. That is a part that all of the politicians that you see in the parliament, from the Senate to the lower house, to the backbenchers, and the parliament and them job and them only salary that is a side hustle. You know that?
Some of them. You have some who are known as career politicians.
Yes. But the biggest, I'm not calling any name, the biggest career politician in the parliament now, and at that time, main job, they have what you call shell companies, Mr. Malcolm?
Yeah, there are all kinds of ways in which operators of these giants.
You see all of these big money that these banks are making. NCB going to pay 50 cents per share as dividends, Mr. Malcolm. When you look at that shareholders standing, that list of shareholders for NCB that they're going to pay these dividends, it's the same people them again,
And we...
Mr. Malcolm. You know the same people them again.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Malcolm, money can't too much.
Well, CIBC First Caribbean International Bank made $1.1 billion, that's billion with a B, in annual profit for year ending October 2023, which was 70% better than the $663 million earned the previous year.
That is also, that bank was classified as the #1 bank in the Caribbean.
Yes, that made the news as well, yes. Mm-hmm.
Billion with a B.
Yeah.
And I put you to the test, Professor, if you look into what they call the statement of financial position,
mm-hmm.
and the income statement, you see the money that they pay and the savings account for interest.
Oh, that's pretty close to zero. That's what.
That is below the inflation rate of 7% as reported by Static.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have 500,000 NCB, National Commercial Bank, and they don't pay me, they pay me less than 1% for interest.
Yeah.
And the inflation rate is 7%. Don't my money eat off, Mr. Malcolm?
Yeah, which is why some people just put it on fixed deposit and keep rolling it over.
But even when you put it on fixed deposit, it's still minuscule.
Yeah,
that's
well, minuscule is relative. It depends on how much is the figure. Anyway.
So we as a people, in order to enhance our civilization around here, we have to team up in Mr. Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Malcolm, to do a road show, like a road show for the people. We can sponsor you with one contribute. We have 1,000 times 1,000. It's $1 million. If we can put $1 million together and say, Mr. Malcolm, why you go Spanish Town Bus Park for me? And you pay the expenses out of that. And they tell the tax man and say, go pay your NIS, my boss. Pay it, man, because that state cancer kill more people in Jamaica this year than murder,
Mm-hmm.
But you don't hear that on the news. Don't you?
Yeah.
If you tell him, says, stroke kill more people in Jamaica this year than murder. You don't hear that on the news because murder the people never talk about. But pay your NIS so that the old lady who work in the factory can get some more in NIS and go buy some medicine and keep our economy going. Well, them are going to want you to free, Mr. Malcolm, because we need help down here. You couldn't do that for a professor.
And there is a process that has to go through that
process.
process.
We have to go through the process, man, because we need a jar of a good thing when them call cross country. So when them come cross country, we want you going at the nooks and crannies of the country for them and tell all them cash pot girls that we sell cash pot now and make enough money for commission. The 5 year NIS return, man, make the money come around back in the NIS economy, man. Because when you're dead, you have that benefit of the Mr. Malcolm.
Yeah.
You know, the NIS was one of the agencies that paid the most money during COVID.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, me, I tell you that, Mr. Malcolm. You know the accounting fee. And a lot of people came up there looking NIS, and when them check the system, no money in the electricity for them, you know. I tell you, it's rough, my professor. But I want to tell you, thanks to everything again, you know, Mr. Malcolm. You have more work to do for you, Mr. Malcolm, because the battlefield are going to get hotter. And you have to tell the people them about them credit score, how to get a better credit score. You have to do a lot of interview for us. And the old people, them RGR must be the old people station because the cleaner and between cleaner and RGR, them over 250-year-old. So my 81-year-old mother, they look to RGR for back fair on the 4th estate. To say, if she live another 10 years, her pension can get more in because the whole way I get all in, Mr. Malcolm.
Yes, indeed. And this is the International Year of Healthy Aging.
Talk to me again, Professor.
Mm-hmm.
International Year of Healthy Aging.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that means?
Well, it's something we've been saying for a long time, which is you know, you will hear people say, why people getting younger these days, or once upon a time when you got to 50, you start bending your back or something like that. Those kinds of expressions you hear people with them from time to time. So there is that kind of a mode that people are in. So they say that if your people, old people not looking like old people again, in a manner of speaking.
When we are living with this professor, the Chinese man, Xi Jinping, in telling Chinese people that anywhere you live in the world, the older you get, the richer you must get. And I'm saying it to the Jamaican people now. The older you get, the richer you must get. And one of the ways you must stay rich, make sure when you reach 65, you know even where a $70,000 a month come from. You don't think if a man reach 65, Dervan, and him have him out, and he might get a $70,000 a month in pension. You don't think that can go on back with 2 children from the ground and go on back till your call come. If it's even 70 grand.
Yeah, you still can keep the ship afloat.
70,000.
Should be able to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you reach
all other things being equal.
All other things being equal, and you're going to need a good woman beside you to help you balance the ship. Because if she gets 70 and you get 70, now 140 that, Professor.
There you go.
That no can put food on the table when you reach 75, it's thrown out back.
Absolutely. Let's leave it there for now, because we have to go. Thank you. All the best to you too. Take care. Thanks for the call. Bye-bye.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Learn to budget. Once you've read a few personal finance books, you will understand 2 rules. Never let your expenses exceed your income, and watch where your money goes. The best way to do this is by budgeting and creating a personal spending plan to track the money coming in and going out. Tracking expenses can provide a valuable wake-up call. Small changes in your everyday expenses are under your control and can impact your financial situation. Keeping monthly expenses like rent as low as possible can save you money over time and put you in a position to invest in your own home sooner than later.
Or reckless with yours. Floss. Don't waste your time on jealousy.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and joining us now is Driver in America. Good afternoon to you, season's greetings, and thank you for joining us here on Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106.
Season's greeting to you and Jamaica at home and abroad also, Brother Dervan. Been listening to you, man, you know what I mean? But, been running hard, straight through the holiday here. But I see you were doing, your man's duty, you know what I mean? On the diaspora. I didn't even know it was coming on that day. It was an odd day, but I enjoyed it, man, so give thanks. And it is on that note that I'm calling, Brother Dervan. And to continue, but I never just drop something here about credit rating. And it segues into the whole diaspora conversation because I'm telling I won't call it a relationship for the purpose, but I'm telling someone, a younger person in Jamaica, the importance of paying your bills monthly in full, on time, and how it relates to credit rating. And this is a person, an educated person, telling me that never reached Jamaica yet, man.
Oh, really?
That was quite indignant. Yeah, man. That never reached Jamaica yet, man. So, this is the diet, because honestly, I know about it for myself here, but I heard that on the program there, one of your hosts speaking to someone about, and they went in depth about, the coming implementation of credit rating and, organizations coming on board that will be taking such into consideration and, paying more interest to it and applying it to your everyday living in terms of your ability to access credit and such. Up here, credit, housing, you may go for a job, then look at your credit rating, some places. So it's all encompassing. But again, that I heard it on the program there, and young person is going to respond to me like this. And this is where the diaspora comes in. And you know where I'm going with it, Brother Dervan.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
People say the diaspora ambassador, senator, whatever, you're worthy of all of that. Because honestly, I think you represent us on the ground in Jamaica with a more balanced, you're quite diplomatic. You're not taking sides. You recognize the value of it and you incorporate it in what you do as far as our trying to move our nation forward. You recognize the resource that it is. That is what I'm trying to say. And you, between Mr. General, Captain Harris, Dr. Harris, that's it, right?
Oh, that's what's his name? Francis, Captain Francis.
Francis, goodness gracious. I've heard you've interviewed him before, right?
Tons of times.
Yes, and that is where I got my thing about what his approach. So it's nothing new he's coming with right now.
No.
And then they try to pit him against another person, Pike, from the UK.
Nathaniel Pete, who is the Global Jamaica Diaspora representative.
But nonetheless, yes. And then there are other fragmented groups, diaspora groups coming in now, and he doesn't have the right to speak on this side also. You see, Brother Dervan, this is not an opinion thing, and I know what it is. it's all about, people trying to politicize this whole thing.
Maybe not everybody.
And think about this, brother Dervan.
Yes.
When we get news one moment, she died in her sleep. Her name is Melissa Davis. Married name Silvera. On November 11th, it was reported she died in her sleep. Her mom just died a few months back.
Sincerest condolences. Oh, wow.
Influential people in politics and such. And she died, supposed in her sleep, reported on November 11th in the Observer. So we put it on it comes up on the family page. Everybody, oh man, her mom just died, or whatever, Then December, I think 17th, it comes out in the Observer that in postmortem revealed that she had 3 shots in her belly, 3 gunshots in her belly. Tidied up, placed in her bed in her maximum security home in Stony Hill. This is a professional woman. And, my nation, that it goes for that long without being realized or reported or whatever, that this is a murder case. I'm thinking to how, how can we, our criminal justice system, what can we expect if this is the way, this is how it is performing?
Yeah, that kind of thing
and
doesn't.
People on the ground say hallelujah, like the song. I'm not, yes, everybody just goes along. You see, brother Dervan, I'm not, because I will ask you this, as I say, as a measured individual, and one with a lot of knowledge about both. Is there a them and us when it comes to the Jamaican diaspora, as far as our relationship to our nation and our people at home in Jamaica? Is there a them and us, sir?
You will always find cliques within any cohort of people, any group of people.
But I will ask you personally, from your point of view, so with your knowledge of both, your relationship to both, is there a them and us? You have an intimate relationship with both. Is there a them and us, brother Dervan?
And again, it goes back to whether those who are being referred to as them and us feel that way about the situation. There might be those of us who are looking on and seeing something else.
For the many organizations that you interact with who are so diligent in their support of Jamaica and Jamaicans at home, is there a them and us when you speak with these people, sir?
No, what they have said, what I've heard across the...
Granted the the eloquence of that is senseless.
Yes, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
To be apolitical, that is a luxury that we cannot afford, and it's even crazy more.
In other words, the example would be.
We're not taking sides. I understand. We're non-binary as far as that is concerned. I think that is the point. It is not from a political point of view, but things inevitably degrade into that in a particular circumstance.
Because such is the nature of people. Such is the nature of people.
But we can't accept that, brother Dervan. Not when our country is burning, bleeding. The gem that Jamaica is. We cannot.
And we should never. We should never settle for that either. We should never ever settle for less than.
I will just say the UK diaspora person. I just don't know. Some people with me are names.
No man, it's easy. Nathaniel Pete. Give it a try, man. Nathaniel Pete. That's the UK one.
I just have to do an association thing. So I did it. Yes, I need to do an association thing, which I did. Okay. So Brother Pete now is saying, one of the things I heard in his interview with Simon earlier, it happens everywhere else. And I hear this. This is like such a, I don't even know how to classify it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
We're sorry, but we're particularly
no. What some people do is to yes, allude to it happening everywhere, but then going on to say we should not stand for it, even if it happens elsewhere.
Yes, that does not give it, credence. It does not. So that's a silly, and anybody who, whenever you posit that in a conversation, you're an ass. I said it. Anyone who uses that as a, something to lean upon when you're trying to debate or make points or such. In Jamaica's case, we're speaking about more committed to what we're doing because we see what it can be when we look at other places.
Yeah.
So use that as a lesson, not as an excuse.
That's right.
Learned people, So, in our case, Brother Dervan, as far as the diaspora, what I'm coming to, there is no, in my opinion, I don't even go as far as there is one passport we have there almost 50 years, brother. The man like, give me the military. I'm going to take it. So Barack Obama come, and everybody, the black president, Marcus Garvey, is still a criminal.
According to the history of America.
To be president next year, and everybody's worried about it. So me now lift up my anchor. And then anytime I'm say go home, my God. You know what I mean? Come to Jamaica, me one in the Jamaican line. Everybody pile up over there, so I can talk. No one come tell me about, we don't live in Jamaica. And a lot of people like to use that when we speak.
Yeah, that expression is used a lot. Hold a moment, please. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Join us every Sunday for Indian Talent on Parade with Dr. Winston Toland from 5 to 6 p.m. Listen and learn all you need to know about the Indian community, culture, and music. That's Indian Talent on Parade with Dr. Winston Toland, 5 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, right here on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
More reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Well, never mind. You will not understand.
Thanks for holding, driver. With you again.
Yes, Brother Dervan. You see, the curry goat and wrap up money in a shirt and stuff can't reach where you're far now. We have a different voice. Yes, some of it crosses the ocean, yes. But we look at Jamaica with different eyes.
Mm-hmm.
We love believe me, it's like them say absence make the heart grow fonder. It's no lie. With all the blood running the political season. Jamaica, because they have the people on the ground right where they want at both parties. There are individuals in each party. Like, there was a quote from Henry Kissinger. So he said 90% of the politicians give the 10% a bad name.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a bit generous, but what I mean? Yeah, as far as the good ones. 90% give the 10% a bad name. So I'm not going to say they're all bad. But 90% against 10%, the results will reflect them.
Just that. They will reflect just that. 90%. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that is what has been going on, which is why Jamaica is underperforming and everything is all to hell. How many people visiting right now? as soon as sun come going down, everybody rushing to the man and shoot up revival. I mean, that's for sure. We don't want this to go on. This election is a turning point, my people. It is a turning point. Don't let it be just another election, irrespective of who wins. Let them win on their merits. Let them win on their ability to change Jamaica, to develop a different trajectory for our growth, you know, because things are not good as they are, you know. And if it takes us in the diaspora, because I hate to, you know, them say, you know, when you give, just give on. But still, I will have to say it. All who want to come beat up them chest for Jamaica performing and this and that, as it has been outlined to you, Jamaica, in Jamaica, you're getting by. It's the remittances that are keeping you afloat. And as Brother Ralston pointed out this month, 70% of that comes from the US. So when people go and try to bring up all their little disciples and pull them from under whichever rock or this or that to come and speak against the truth, you know, because they have their own interest, we know what you're doing. And we're not resigned to Jamaica just going along.
You see, the facts are the facts, you know. The facts are the facts. I was driving yesterday morning past a certain, in the vicinity of a certain remittance entity. And that sparked a conversation between myself and my wife right there and then, to say, just look at this, because it was pretty much the start of the day, and the lines, the lines were being formed already for various reasons. Mind you, there are those who might be sending the other way, but it
when, you know, the cards that I'm using for one reason or another, I'm encoded because of security features that are built into them. I cannot make transactions here where I have to end up sending money to myself in Jamaica. So I know about joining those lines. I've studied, depending on where you are. Some of them you go there, it's like you go embassy. You know?
Yeah.
You have to, and people have to, you know, and you wait. And so I know that experience. And I listen to the conversations, and people don't, you know why a lot of the money is coming. But I mean, before that, you know, boy, I pick me down, I just call him and say, you know, you understand, brother?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
People are, it's like if they don't get this, it's the meaning of it. Believe me, it defines how your whole day goes. Or maybe they're fine. So I know this, which is what our politicians are quite aloof as far as these things are concerned. They think in a linear sense. I don't know where they got their education. And people must understand that when you said dunce, it's not just math, reading, and arithmetic. It's logic and such.
Absence of a level of awareness.
Thank you, sir. So when we say fully dunce, you know, it's evident, you know, in what we see going on, the policies, jelly back, fully dunce, all those things, you know, that are popping up, coming into the conversation are quite apt to apply here. And Jamaican people at home and abroad, we cannot sit and just, we still have a foothold. It's like when you're playing tug of war and you're coming up against the line, we still a little ways beyond certain defeat, surrender, whatever. Don't sit there because you have your big house and your grill and your private security and so what is going on down in the hellhole farthest from you, it will affect you also. Just listen to it was a Jamaican version. I think it was a Living Truth. We're all in this thing together. There's an American version also, but that's the one I would like you all to listen to. We're all in it together. None
The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Its weakest link. Remember that. Remember that. And there's not such a gulf as you think between you and the problems out there on the road. You can't grill them out. You can't security them out here. And we don't want, bottom line, Brother Dervan, we don't want our nation to just sink. I don't like, again, I don't like to compare to others. And in my heart, I cry for Haiti. David Rudder, the Trinidad.
Haiti, I'm sorry.
Come again, sir?
Haiti, I'm sorry. That's a song.
Thank you. Song that makes me feel like crying. And Jamaica, we don't want that here. When Brother Francis speaks of the corruption, the amount of it that we're willing to tolerate, and all the other things, the ill, he's not saying anything new. He's just letting us face the truth that we so effectively avoid looking at, putting under the carpet. But we've swept so many things under the carpet now that when you're looking at the carpet, it looks like, a hill of the terrain. All this stuff packed up under you, you can't even walk on it.
What a thing.
And I'll use another metaphor, like the candle under the veil. The Bible tells you about that, hiding it under there. It's going to burn. And Brother Dervan, right now, in Jamaica, look, it's not nice. And that, it's a wonder people can still have a smile and such on their faces and go around and live. But we're going down to a point where, yes, we'll mirror what's going on with our French-speaking neighbor. And we don't want that, Brother Dervan. We have a diaspora out here. Diaspora personnel, I'm asking you to support this. Do not let them get away with it. What Dr. Francis is saying is quite true. And I'm not speaking in support of him as much of him as I am speaking in support of the truths that he is speaking. And we cannot ignore it. Don't let party colors sway you this way or that way. This is for Jamaica's soul. And let's bring opposition and government to the table and let them tell us what they have planned going forward. Nothing silly about this season, not this election. This is pivotal. In my heart, I just know, Brother Dervan, this is pivotal. If we lose the opportunity in this election, it will seal our fate. If we go forward as is, without the changes necessary, without paying attention to the things that are being discussed here. So let's not get into a them and us, my people. That is what they use to separate us with the political parties, them and us. And they're trying to do it with Jamaicans at home and Jamaicans abroad right now. Don't fall for it. If you look around at our African neighbors and stuff, it's the same thing they use to keep their rulers. Nigeria, the levels of poverty in Nigeria, people wouldn't even believe it at this time, while some of them, they're so fat and so rich. And so, but we cannot ignore, because you ignore the poor, the people on the ground, you let that poverty metastasize, it's going to grow into what we're seeing right now. And it's not just the poverty, it's the corruption, it's the lack of humanity at the top also. That concerns me greatly, because I can't see a people governing and not being cognizant of the ills that are going on. But Brother Dervan, I'll go on for it right now, but I just want these people to realize that this time, this whole diaspora thing, don't fall for it. They're just trying to divide it. Jamaica's well-being is at stake, and all Jamaicans let's take this upcoming local and general election very seriously. What we are next year this time is entirely dependent upon it. And I will conclude with that, Brother Dervan. Thank you for allowing me the space and the time to do it.
Sure.
And thank you for your work that you do in bringing Jamaica at home and Jamaica abroad together, maintaining that bridge. One love to you and best wishes for the new year. You and Jamaica at home and abroad.
Thank you very much. Many happy returns. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Bless.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. That was Driver in America, just having his say and just demonstrating the kind of interest and commitment on the part of Jamaicans in the diaspora in keeping the work of the diaspora going. Let's take the break and come back with more in just a moment.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs-controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:13. Tell them with this upper and don't them with spray. Use mosquito net and mosquito spray. Protect your house, will not make them come in. If you don't want if you want mosquito and run with them.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Tis the season and One Spot Media has a special gift for you and your family. Get 30% off our 6-month subscription plan and receive 1 month free special access to Gleaner Premium. Dive into this world of exclusive content and enjoy live TV, live radio, thousands of hours of video on demand, the e-Gleaner, events, podcasts, and more. Simply log into onespotmedia.com and purchase the 6-month subscription plan. Get in with the joy of the holidays, all in one spot. Offer ends January 31. Conditions apply.
Vice. Now, enjoy the power and beauty of
Hello to Miss Tiny, Tiny Beckles in Toronto, Canada. She says, pleasant good afternoon to all listeners around the global diaspora. A special hello. Thank you very much for the special hello, Miss Tiny. Wishing everyone a peaceful 2024 filled with love for humanity. Thank you very much, Miss Tiny, for your message and all the very best. And Hubert Fowlin says a very pleasant Thursday afternoon to your listening audience. Good afternoon, Hubert Fowlin. Jeannie Chambers says, good afternoon, teacher. Season's greetings to you and your family. Same to you and yours, Jeannie Chambers. Velta Wilson, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your greeting. Compliments of the season to you. And indeed, we had a blessed Christmas. And Oliver Samuels says, greetings, Oliver Samuels. Valerie Rochester says, greetings, all the best for the new year. Connie Witter sends her regards. We reciprocate wholeheartedly, Valerie Rochester. Thank you very much for your message and all the very best. Let's check out YouTube right now. Let's see. Mark Peart says, blessings day, sir. There is a thrill of hope for people of Jamaica. Time come to the JM, as in Jamaica. Galloway Kevin says, season's greetings to you in the name of Jesus, Ambassador Dervan, Malcolm, families and friends. Thank you for reaching out with good intent in the times and seasons that you do. And hello, Asha and Sam and the others besides these for Jesus' sake. Welcome to the Holy Spirit. Taki Lemko says, blessings, Dervan, and all on board. The caller is so on point just now in terms of us being abroad. How can one dare say we don't have any claim to what goes on in the land of our birth? Greetings. That's the message from Taki Lemqua. Thank you very much for your messages on our text line, 876-365-3346, same as the WhatsApp number. The regular call-in lines, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Let's go to this call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Father man, come on, go on. Everything good?
We're fine, thanks. And you?
I'm alright, but you know, the year are closed out now. I expect the best for the island, because we love to look at island. You know?
We know.
Alright. Now, point I want to raise with you. I was watching YouTube a couple of days ago, and I saw a stage show named Unruly Face. And I remember I hear a little voice in the background, so the police are come. And I saw two police officers walk up on stage, and the promoter of that event, his behavior was deeply disappointing. But what more disturbing to me up to now, I don't hear no serious action taken against the promoter for his behavior. What is the problem there?
I'm not sure if that has made the news, but there is a story of four people who have been either taken into custody or otherwise.
Because I hear the spokeswoman for the police this morning on the news, and she's talking about the
protocols
time and permit and all of that. But I don't hear no action about his behavior. He should be disciplined. You have no respect for the police.
Yeah, I think 4 people have either been charged or otherwise penalized. I seem to recall that, hearing that.
The promoters are them.
What's that?
The promoter, is one of them who charged?
I don't know. I just caught a piece of the news, basically, and I can't run on that. But it sounded as if what I was hearing sounded as if 4. I remember hearing of 4. So something about people who were accosted one way or another due to their behavior.
When him turn to the police and say what him have to say, him turn back to the crowd and say my DJ and jump up in the air and the crowd start get excited. And I think that's what propel him to do what him doing.
Sounds like you were there. Sounds like you were there, man.
No, it was going live on YouTube and I was watching it.
Okay.
Yeah, but and the first I seen behave like that on stage. So if you want to get yourself involved in the music and people look up to you, you need to conduct yourself more better. Well, as I say, 4 people penalized, I'm going to follow up on the news and see what happened, and then I call about.
All right, no problem.
All right, thank you very much, bud.
Sure, thanks for calling. Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Still need to double check that story. But in the meantime, as I said, I heard something. Let's go to another call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
Good. You know, I didn't know you're married, until you say it's a driver,
Uh-huh.
I'm not getting your personal business, but I didn't know that you're married.
Yes, indeed.
But I want to say, Dervan, although you're very controversial, and you and I bucket sometimes.
Pour me in controversy.
We never disrespect each other. And we agree and we disagree. So I want to say to your wife, I think she has a good family husband called Dervan. And I don't say that lightly. Okay?
I hear you.
Dervan, the caller was talking about He was referring to Sting.
Yes, I know.
Leng.
I know.
I met Leng in Disco Info some years ago. And I remember Leng talking to Ninja Man. He was a police at the time, he was a sergeant at the time. And I was standing listening to the conversation. And he was saying to Ninja Man, you must behave yourself. You can't continue to do what you're doing, you must behave yourself. And all that I could hear in the conversation, Leng telling him to conduct himself. And that was a long time ago, you know. But what I want to see the Lord change, whether you're Jews or you're Gentiles or you're pastor, you're Christian or non-Christian, and you go to perform in public space and you commit disrepute in public space, and you're tried before a tribunal of court of law, your penalty must be 5 years in prison. Simple as that. I outlined the sequence of events before it comes to the handing down of the sentence for the 5 years. And that message, can you imagine the minister sitting there, Babsy Grange? I have no fans of Babsy Grange's political views, but I respect Babsy. She has a right to be there. But you can't behave that way. People come to pay their money and to listen to good entertainment and to enjoy themselves. And when you bring the crowd into the disrepute, then it must be clear saying to them, hey, you're going to be tried before a court of law, you're going to be arrested. And when the tribunal or the court found you guilty, you could cry behind bar, that is your business. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're hearing you.
Now, you've heard what is going on in the diaspora. I'm calling from the diaspora.
What is going on in the diaspora?
Where the captain captain wants to demonstrate. And I totally listening to the captain, agree with the captain, analyze his message. I don't know the captain, but I live in Florida, captain. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm in 100% of you. I'm not sending any money to my brother in Jamaica. My brother has to face the consequences because of the government behavior. I'm not sending any money to my friends in Jamaica. They have to face the consequences because of the government behavior. And when the government is using, oh, we are in the diaspora, you can't sue us. I'm not a lawyer. Fine. I was talking to some friends who call your program in New York. And I said to them, let's not use the word diaspora. We are what you call Jamaican citizens. We own dual citizenship. So let's do it on behalf of the dual citizenship status. Because if we do it on behalf of the diaspora, we register in America. We live in a foreign country. But when we do it in the name of Jamaicans, you can't tell us that we're not Jamaican citizens. You can't tell us that we can't do it. We are Jamaican citizens. We can stand anywhere in the world as long as we are dual citizens and sue the government of Jamaica. Would you understand and agree with me?
Well, you still need a body of evidence. So go ahead and gather the data and come forward.
So when the Prime Minister come here, I think the week before last week, and meet with Merrick Garden and the President's legal advisor, the President's National Security Advisor, I think Jay Sullivan. It's an indictment on your country. You go talk to ex-Prime Minister. You go talk to ex-diplomat. You don't meet with these people like that. That's not how it goes. We who in the business do current affairs and analyze and subtract and calculate and do the math. This is not the end of this is not the end of the conversation. But our ambassador here He served the pleasure of the Prime Minister, not the pleasure of the people of Jamaica.
Serves at the pleasure.
But served at the pleasure. What's her name? Ambassador Marks?
Audrey Marks.
Audrey Marks. If Audrey Marks come out and talk against the government of Jamaica, she will be recalled. Let the people understand. She will be recalled back to Jamaica.
No, but that's a straw man, because in the field of diplomacy, no, unless you're going rogue, you really are not going to do certain things.
No, but when you're a diplomat, when you represent the country, you don't represent the Prime Minister. And when certain things is not going wrong, you are there to speak the truth. You're there to take the oath of office and speak nothing but the truth and the whole truth and defend the Constitution and defend the Jamaican people. But that is not what is happening. So I am saying the time has come for the law to change. That Mr. Holness, however, coming after him, cannot pick and choose who wants to be your ambassador.
Hold a moment, please. One moment.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 754-3714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is
3:45. The management and staff of the Jamaica Customs Agency extend the very best wishes to all our stakeholders and wish for you an enjoyable and peaceful Christmas. As an ISO 9001-2015 Quality Management System certified agency, will continue to improve our service standards and have made available to you our new customs mobile app and your contactless clearance process. We appreciate you and will always keep you, our customers, in focus. Happy New Year from Jamaica Customs.
Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of issuing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts.
Thanks for holding. Go ahead, please. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hearing you now.
I am calling on my friend in the diaspora. I call on some of them already. With old foreign exchange from Jamaica. I started to demonstrate that. I called my family member. I called my friend. And I demonstrated that already. That I'll be withholding foreign exchange from Jamaica. So when the Prime Minister of the audacity, you can break it down to the Jamaican people who doesn't understand. Let's say we have bad minds. When we ask him about his declaration and ask him to name the six, and he doesn't want to tell us, then we have the purse, we have the power, and we are going to do what the power dictates to us. So he will understand that he's not running a private entity. And this is what, I might not agree with TT, and this is what I heard TT said. And I want the Jamaican people to understand him. If TT was living in Russia, Venezuela, Cuba, he could not say that Vladimir Putin or Maduro in Venezuela is not his president. He couldn't say that. He would be in jail.
That's going to extremes, though. Those are all extreme cases.
Yes, but the reason why TT can say that in Jamaica is because we have constitution, we have democracy. The TT can say, oh, this is not his president. He's entitled. He's right to that. And anybody don't like that right, then change the constitution, change the democracy, and then put TT in jail. So I don't talk without doing my research and understand what I'm talking about. So come back to what we're talking about here in the United States. And to send the message to Mr. Holness. You asked us for power, and we gave you power. You're the servant of the people. You don't listen. You behave as if you are the king. And you do what you want to do. Well, we're going to show you what we can do. The captain outlined that he was a former Jamaica Labour Party member. He ran 3 times and he lost. I am not into his camp. But what the captain is doing
So what the man from England is talking, if he's a cheerleader for the government of Jamaica, then I say to him, good luck with that. But we are not a cheerleader. We are doing what is fundamental right. That the present government and the future government to come in Jamaica, we are not putting up with that type of crap. You know, I keep talking to my former gang leader, my former friend, a gang member. Went to England, committed crime, and they got deported back to Jamaica. He called me all the time. I talked to him. We have civilized conversation, nothing out of the way. And he said he goes to party in the inner city. He goes to the Caribbean party.
All right, we don't want to hear any more stories at this point, no, because then it.
No. I'm just telling you, when he goes there, he said he's well.
No, but there's a kind of a glorification that comes out there.
No.
Which we. No, I'm saying. Leave that. No.
No. Okay, all right. Let's leave that then. Let's come back. Things, to what we were talking about. If you ask me, I don't hear people because of Christmas in the United States. I don't do that. That's not my style. I don't wait until Christmas. Jamaicans who are listening me and know me, I help people throughout Christmas. And I help people, doesn't matter what the nationality. But it so happens that I help quite a few Jamaicans.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the kind of thing you want to go tell it on the mountain, and not everybody wants to do that either.
No. But when people hear we call your program, I say we probably just call and just talk. We play our part. We are helping our brothers and sisters. And whether they come from the Caribbean or Latin America, we help them and we try to be their brothers' keepers. But we are saying, going forward into the new year, we cannot continue the type of politicking and the behavior. When you come on the program, that's why we talk to you. You show us you're very controversial, but you show us with love. You agree? You disagree?
That's a misnomer, though. It's a misnomer.
But you show us.
Controversial beside my name. That's what it's called, a misnomer. But anyway.
You show us with respect, right? If you look at the food import bill in Jamaica, let me close up. If you look at the food import bill, if you look at people can't afford a good Christmas food, and you ask what is driving it, if your dollar is at 150, if your electricity bill to produce the food, if your GCT is on your food, what is the simple arithmetic? Remove GCT. Make your import raw materials duty free. Make the Caribbean Jamaica the cheapest producer of food. And then you will bring people from Cayman Islands because they have to come to Miami and buy food all the time because they don't produce. I think the only thing they produce is building blocks. So we are saying, do all of these things because what you're doing, you're having impoverished and you're having crime. So when people are stealing food and can't get food to eat, you open up the gateway for all of these things down the road. So we are saying your food import or your food bill must be cheaper so that people can have a better life going forward. Would you agree or disagree?
That sounds like a sound note on which to wrap the conversation.
God bless.
Thank you for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello. Maybe that person got tired of holding. Sorry about that. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm, I have to agree with Dr. Francis. The people's resources are going in the wrong direction, and we must correct it immediately. The ruling government either calls to action or recuse themselves from the proceedings of government. And there's a further thread of message here. The constant punishment of the Jamaican people has to stop. This low-tech, low-energy economy cannot continue. We must see more investment into the people of Jamaica in order to, something is missing here, in order to, you have bust, B-U-S-T, the economy, cut inflation, and slash interest rates so ordinary Jamaicans can purchase a house. Let's see. Thank you very much for your message, Cuban in Georgia. Rudolph in Stony Hill. Rudolph in Stony Hill says, Sir Malcolm, compliments of the season, and I wish for you a safe, prosperous, and healthy new year to you and family. God bless. All the messages sent to you for the councillor for Stony Hill Division, fix Erie Castle Road and Brooks Level Road, and the drain in front of the market to clean. The councillor light Christmas tree and ignore the roads and drains when she wants to be re-elected by the citizens. I believe if a person no work to satisfy the people, them have to go. Rudolph in Stony Hill, thank you for your message. Here's another one. Good day. Government, could you tackle the crime problem in this country and stop fighting over boundaries in Portmore? Stop the tribalism and address the elephant in the country, murder and criminality. None of you tribal leaders have been able to tackle crime. Start uniting and come up with a long-term solution to the gun culture and criminality. Thank you for your message. Didn't get a name. Kevin Galloway has been what he called us earlier. Carla says, good evening. How are you doing today? I'm fine, thanks. And you? And the message goes on. All the best for the new year. Best of health, wealth, and long life. This is from Lady K from East Kingston in Atlanta. One love. One love to you too. Ellerid says, good afternoon, Dervan. Do members of parliament or are members of parliament the privileged few and above the law? If a cashier is an employee of the bank, something is missing, suspected of stealing, they are arrested. So why those MPs who are alleged to enrich themselves are still allowed to continue as nothing happens? Well, I think you helped to answer your question here, because you say that they are alleged to be enriching themselves. Alleged. That can't go to court. Can't go to court. But thank you for your message and all the best. And I think we're going to go now to David Crosburn. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Crosburn. Season's greetings. How are you?
Season's greetings to you and all your listeners. Thanks a million for the opportunity just to share a few thoughts with you.
Sure, please go ahead.
Yeah, yes. Let's start with yesterday. The issue of the breaking up of the signal is still and worse, or sometimes even Most of the day yesterday, I couldn't hear nothing on 106. And your program, just in and out, couldn't hear properly.
Yeah, we're really terribly sorry to hear of the persistent problems with the transmission. It's not that it has not been reported. It's been reported as far as we're aware, and we have to give our engineers the benefit of the doubt that they are in fact doing the work and trying to resolve whatever problems there are. And we trust that we will get to that point of the problems being solved sooner than later.
Yes, I think just two thoughts on it. One, I think they should go out into each area and maybe spend a day and experience for themselves.
Oh, all of that is done usually, actually. Usually you do a drive around depending on where you're having the transmission issues. Hold a moment, please.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is 4 o'clock. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Record your expenses. The first step to start saving money is figuring out how much you spend. Keep track of all your expenses. That means every coffee, household item, and cash tip, as well as regular monthly bills. Record your expenses however it's easiest for you. A pencil and paper, a simple spreadsheet, or a free online spending tracker or app. Once you have your data, organize the numbers by categories such as gas, groceries, and mortgage, and total each amount. Use your credit card and bank statements to make sure you've included everything. The holiday season is filled with happiness and cheer, but it can also be a time of danger for road users. Here's a holiday road safety tip from Petrojam Limited in association with the Road Safety Unit.
Don't drink and drive. If you're going to a Christmas party and plan to have a drink or two, don't drive. Plan a safe alternative to get home. Call a cab or assign a designated driver. Make this holiday season a safe one for all. A holiday road safety tip from the Road Safety Unit and Petrojam Limited, where safety is our *1 priority.
Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85.
Que hora es en español? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:01. 现在几点了？4点01分. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup recently? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well, 876-365-3346. Let's see a couple of messages here. Olga Hollingshead says, Thursday afternoon, blessings, Sir Dervan Malcolm, your family, and all your diaspora members everywhere. Wishing all a happy and prosperous new year. And so say all of us. Thank you very much. Oliver Samuel says, audio low, Dervan, from caller. We'll see what can be done, if not already done. And he goes on to ask, why does he keep saying you're controversial? Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you very much for your message. And let's go back now to, or go across to David Crosburn. Hello, Mr. Crosburn, are you there?
Yes, I am.
There you are. Wonderful.
Yeah, maybe when they go to the areas, they should try and take somebody from the Spectrum Authority. I think that could be part of the problem, the Spectrum. And I don't know, just from my experience and what I've read and observed and so on, this time has been changing, and that could be affecting the whole transmission and so on, the atmospheric changes and so on,
Yeah, you're not too far off at all. It is possible.
It's just from my experiences that I've had and what I've read and so. Because two things I'll just quickly share with you. When India got their nuclear weapon, they calculated the time when the satellite would be off India. And the moment that they calculated it, they fired. I read it in a book from the India embassy. It named The Indian Perspective. A wonderful, they publish them like 3 monthly and so at the, and you can get it by the Indian High Commission in Jamaica. And I read that many years ago that they did a calculation, and when the satellite, when India fired their satellite or launched their satellite for the atomic, the US could not pick it up because they were off. Plus, I had experiences visiting the science center in Canada, and there they show you a lot of experiments and all kind of scientific information. And I think honestly that part of the problem is with what is happening in the atmosphere, plus maybe the Spectrum Authority don't have the eyes on the ball. So, because the engineers have been at it for quite a bit.
True.
For the last more than 6 months now. Yesterday, you mentioned about Louis Pasteur. I was so happy to hear your information that you gave on him. And one aspect of his work, the present DNA that we have, was part of his earlier work. He pointed, maybe he did not really get exactly to the DNA, but his groundwork allowed us to have the DNA, our ability to determine the DNA. And then you mentioned also Professor Jeff Palmer.
Yes, the man who saved the brewing business.
Yeah, a wonderful gentleman. I am so deeply respectful of his accomplishment, and he gave me, he authorized me to use his I don't remember if it is Twitter account or some account there. He gave me, sent the link to me, and I could share it with him. I was so thankful of him, but I didn't really use it, up to be intimidated, because it's like when the story of Peter didn't want to crucify him in the same position as Christ now. He told him he wanted to be turned upside down. He wasn't worthy. So I feel unworthy of sharing the account with him. But he carried my book on his account, And I sent and told him once that the 20-meter female sprinter was from a place in Manchester, on the Manchester-Clarendon border by the name of Galoge.
Who's that? Is it Sharika? Is it Sharika Jackson?
Hello? No, not Sharika. Can't call her name just
Elaine Thompson Hero.
Yeah. She went to school at Galoge. It's on the Clarendon Manchester border. Yeah. But it's also originated from Scotland. The name Galoge is a huge area in Scotland by the name of Galoge. They also have a museum there and a lot of information. They respect information and keep it there and promote it as part of the country's storyboard, at Galoge. I was trying to find out how it came by, but the closest I could come to it is when the Scottish people come to establish Monymusk in Clarendon, because Monymusk in Clarendon is related to Monymusk in Scotland. There's an area in Scotland of about could be about 6 square miles. Entire township in Scotland of about 6 square miles. That is its name, Monymusk. If you Google it, you can see it and see the castle, the Monymusk Castle at Monymusk in Scotland. The reason I tell you this, it is of so much importance to us that we don't know what we have in our hands, because when I was working I work at Monymusk. When I was there, a new general manager came by, and a plaque of the Monymusk Castle was hanging on the wall. No one knew what it was about, and they just take it down and virtually throw it away. One day now, I went to the library in Kingston on East Street, the National Library. And when I pulled and I saw the information on the Monymusk Castle in Scotland, I almost trembled because I did not know that Monymusk in Scotland and Monymusk in Clarendon, that's where it originated. And you, in your program, taught me so much because you mentioned about it has to do with earlier when the battle of Carlisle, when the French attacked Jamaica, the want was to take Jamaica from the British, and yet the battle of Carlisle, a large portion of it was fought in